I've been reading The Law of One again. It's a different experience without all the fear that I used to have, because, you know, I was researching everything at the first time that I found it. You know, I was trying to read the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, all the Law of One books, all the related books, the Seth Speaks stuff, Dolores Cannon, David Icke, Tom Campbell, Bentino, Massara, all at the same time. And no wonder I went crazy. But we're going to order here. And what I noticed now as I read it again, without all the, you know, the urgency to advance the, you know, I think I was like studying for an exam or something, and you're trying to take in as much information as possible. And now, after all this, it's, you know, sort of brought me back in. But I still like read fast. But I think that's more of a character thing. But I'm not reading like multiple things at the same time, trying to put them all into my world. But yeah, the I Ching and the Law of One are very similar. And I can also see the Law of One is very, very similar to the better side of the Bible. The better side of the Bible, the better side of Islam, the better side of like the benevolent side of things. It's kind of like an uncorrupt version. I feel like it all comes from a very similar space, and that like these other things have been kind of meddled with or just taken out of context, or, you know, when you like, okay, for example, when I'm reading anything, I am, you know, this form of me with all these beliefs and experiences and filters and things like that. When I'm reading anything, you're looking for resonance, you're looking for validation, you look for resonance within yourself. And just say these, you know, prophets of the past who got this information, you know, got this wisdom, but they also have their own, you know, interpretation, Chinese whispers kind of thing, as, you know, you can't tell me anything and I'm going to believe it if there's no resonance with it. I can't tell you anything and you're going to believe it if there's no resonance with you. But there's also a lot of fear that's been like inserted into our timeline. And when you live in fear, you read things in a different way as well. I'm looking at, you know, the Law of One. When I first read it and took notes, there was a lot of fear in me. Now when I read it, I'm seeing how close it is to the I Ching. I think I got like pretty scared with all the talk of harvest and, you know, other beings from other dimensions, and that we are the creator. And I really like thought, when I see love, light, love, which is what they use a lot, as kind of vomit material, because you know, of the people who are doing all their star, seed, shadow, rainbow, like I don't resonate with those people. It makes me like, I'm like, come on, snap out of it, you know. And so I kind of put them all in the same box as well, like this love light might be evil. But now that I'm reading it more from wherever I'm at, it's really nice and I like a lot of it, but I don't like the words because of the, nothing to do with them, but because of my generation, my growing up with seeing people use love and light in a way that makes them look stupid or ditsy or something. So like my own judgments about when people go love and light, I just want to vomit. I just like, oh my God, well, how do you talk like that, you know? But yeah, when I'm reading it, like from a benevolent place, when I'm reading it from seeing it for the way that I see it now, it's just beautiful. And I'm kind of a little bit annoyed that these people have been, you know, like, why am I annoyed though? It's not like they're doing anything wrong. They're actually like living a life sending love to other people, and maybe there's negative in me that is seeing positive as negative or something. Like, there's nothing wrong with anything that they're doing. It's just, there must be something in me that I haven't kind of accepted about people who are just, you know, sharing love and light. But it just feels fake, I think. It feels fake. It doesn't feel genuine or something. I don't know the right words. But, you know, like you're learning about yourself through these interactions with others. And sometimes that's, you know, when you these opposite polarized, like I would much rather, I don't know. I was going to say I would be much rather hang out with someone that's like love and light, starlight, sky, whatever they say. I don't know. Could I even sit with someone like that? Would I rather sit with someone like that than someone who is, you know, wanting to harm other people, sitting there in darkness? And I don't know, like it's a tough call. I am leaning towards all the kind of the best ways I want to see this world and the best way I want to navigate the rest of my life, whatever that is. And maybe there's a lot of resistance in there, because I look at, like, when I was all happy, I used to see people who were unhappy and I wanted to raise them up. And then when I was, like, when my mind had flipped and I'd gone really the opposite, polarized, I went negative, I saw all happy people as fake, and I wanted to get away from them. It's like this magnetic field that we have around us if we're positive polarized or negative polarized. And if we're positive, the negative can't go near you. And if you're negative, the positive can still come near you, but they can be like pulled into your negative. So it's interesting, because when I see all the people who are sort of boppy, when I was in a negative place, I just couldn't stand. I wanted them to calm down. I wanted them to be more calm. And when I was in a boppy place, I wanted everybody to rise up. And there's this balance kind of thing. But if you are looking at other people from a negative lens, it's amazing, you know, how you can be infected by positive in a negative way. Like, because you're in a negative spot, you kind of get grossed out by people who are positive and want to pull them down into your darkness. Not any of this is, none of it's conscious. Like, I know people who do it and they're completely unconscious. Like, they would tell you that they're the world's best motivational speaker. You know, they have a persona that they've got a humble heart and things like that, but they still, you know, do this. They've still got that negative thing in them, that's something unresolved within them, where they're not accepting everything that's around them. It's hard to accept everything, because I just thought of things even before I got in this car that I still don't accept. And I'm like, oh, okay, I don't know how I'm going to accept that ever in my life, but I know that that's one thing I can't accept at the moment, and that's interesting. And I just noticed it. And that's the first, maybe I'll spend some contemplation time on it. It's incest, if you wanted to know. And when I was in my blissful state before the crash, I used to accept everything, and I used to think that there was nothing in the world that you could give me that I wouldn't be able to accept, because I was in that, you know, just blissfully unaware, blissfully accepting of everything, that all is the, you know, part of it. It's all our choice. It's all our roles that we're playing that's not real kind of thing. Well, that it's real to us while we're in this incarnation, but that we chose this, that we are, you know, we chose it for the lessons and all that kind of stuff. And I could give you, you know, benefits out of all of those. Like, what would the benefit be for, you know, that situation or that situation or that situation or that situation? What would the benefit be? And what lessons would you learn? What would you get out of it? And it's not, you know, all bad, you know. But I'm trying to look at incest now. Like, that was just something, as I was walking out the door with my key, I'm like, yeah, oh, I've got a problem with that, you know. I've got a problem with that. I used to think that I accepted that. Obviously, you know, through my past living in the homeless girls' home, there's a lot of people in my life that, you know, this has been their life, and, you know, I definitely didn't accept it when I was living with them, just as they didn't. But as I, you know, was learning everything and resonating with things and trying to make life okay, you know, I did get to a place where I thought, you know, it's all right, it's all good. But now, from the last catalyst, you know, I realize there are things in me that, you know, I don't accept everything, and I've got to accept, you know, my ego and my pride, and that has to accept that I don't accept everything yet. And that's like, when you recognize something that does bother you, that it's up to you to work on it. Yeah. Anyway, see you later. I'm going to eat.